Okay, so the recording has been started. Class is in session. Since there isn't many people here today, I don't think I'll be going over a lot of new stuff. If people do show up, then that'll change. But we can start by reviewing last week's homework. So if we go to last week's slides, you guys can't see my screen, right? Yeah, I saw your first attendance message. Okay, so we can go to last week's slides, and the homework was make an HTML page with the following: a bold header that says this is a test, a line of normal text that says hello world, and bonus is to change the color of the text. So we can go to our editor here. I'm just gonna go through the whole process. So first, to set up an HTML page, you want to have your opening and closing tags for HTML. And then in this homework, we only have text, so that will go in the body. And then within the body, then we have what first we want a header. First we want a header, and then second we want a line of normal text, which is a paragraph. Then first we want the header to say this is a test, and then the paragraph tag to say hello world, and then change the color of the paragraph tag. So header is this is a header, and then paragraph is this is a test. But then our bonus is to change the color. So if you remember from last class, what you do is style, and I believe, just let me style, then it's an equal sign, and then you quotation marks, and then since we're only doing color, you do just color, then the semicolon, and red. And if we run it, then you can see this. So was everybody able to understand the homework, or did everybody have any difficulties with it? Wait, so Shlok, were you able to understand the homework? Okay, so now I have all the whole homework set up. So first, you have your opening and closing tags for HTML. You always need to have these. And usually there can be like a head tag. And while you may think that this is where you would put a header, that's not true. What you would put here is if you want to put like a style sheet, that's where you would put it. I won't be covering that today, but we will go over that in the near future. So you have your HTML opening and closing tags. We don't have anything in the header, in the head, so you can take that out. And then we have our body, which is where we have everything that we need. And then you have your header 1 tag, which fulfills the requirement of having a bold header that says this is a test. So you have header 1. This is, okay, wait, never mind. This is a test, then hello world. Never mind. So this is a test, and then hello world. So we have our header that says this is a test, and then we have our paragraph tag that says hello world. And then if you remember from last class, style changes properties of that tag. So usually without the style, if Just take this out and we run it. What happens is that this text is, say, 14-point font, Times New Roman, like the style of it, and its color is black. So what we're doing here by putting this style element is we're changing an element or multiple elements of this paragraph tag. But since it's within just this tag, if we do another paragraph tag, that will not be read. If you want to change it, you either have to put a cascading style sheet, or, as I said before, you can go into the header and then make a style tag, which then would allow you to change the properties of all paragraph elements within your HTML page. So do you understand it now? Sir, can you please send the HTML's link? This is the HTML like editor link that I'm using. I can put it in the chat again. So do you understand now? All right. So I just want to show you how you would put multiple style elements. So you wouldn't go style equals, then quotation marks, color red, and then another style equals. What you would do is that you put this symbol, I don't know exactly what it's called, and then you would put like font size large. Now if we run it, you can see clearly that the font size of this has gotten larger. So run it. If we take out this part, you can see how the font size is, and then you add it, and you can see how it is. So if you want to change multiple elements of a singular tag, you can just do it like this. So does everybody understand that? Anushka? Yeah, if you've done it, then that's good. Did it look something like what I did, or what is it? Yeah. If it looked anything like what I did, then that's good to go. Sir, please show HTML page. Yeah, so this is the HTML like page per se. I'm using the online editor since I didn't feel like making an HTML file, but I can make one really quick just to show you how exactly it would look like that. Does anybody want me to do that, or are you guys okay with just looking at it like this? And just as like a preview, I can put a header. Let's put a header and then show you guys how the style tag would work in HTML. So what you do in the style tag is, let's just take this out, and then we can do paragraph hello world 2. If I remember correctly, this would be E, and then color red. Okay, so just like how we had the style tag previously, it should, yeah. So what it does now is that before when we put color red, it only applied it to one paragraph tag. But now since we have the style tag in our header, what it does is that it applies it to every paragraph tag. So does everybody understand that? In it? Please delete your message if you can. I will not tolerate messages like that in this class. And if, okay, well, I don't know if I can kick you. Okay, so let me just, there's this. Okay, so sorry, sir, I didn't got it. Okay, everybody just ignore this Vinit guy. Um, so what a style tag does in the header is that within the style tag, you can put the tag names. So like header one, so you would put like H1, and then you would put this curly bracket. You would put whatever style element you want to change, and then you would manipulate it, just like how we did before down here with style equals. Now instead of style equals, you have the opening and closing tags for style, and then we no longer have to put this in quotations. Instead of quotations, now we have curly brackets. Okay? So do you understand that? Okay. What exactly don't you understand? No,
Neil,
it's fine.
I'm
Yeah.
Santosh. Yeah, who's that guy? Just let me know. Yeah,
Uh, the guy named Vinit Girdhar.
Vinit Girdhar has already left it since.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
I think he left as soon as you joined. So
Okay, that's fine. We will just see who's Vinit Giridhar. Normally, people will not be allowed like this by Vaishali madam. So this is something which is impossible. Somebody has joined. Just check once again in chat box whether that guy is present or not. Once again,
yeah,
maybe
I can check the the
chat
people
box.
in the meeting.
Uh,
He made remarks in the chat, but I guess he left.
But how he entered? I don't know. Uh, uh, Okay.
Uh,
So thing you try to understand, he may be from that particular class also. So Python class, anybody, Giridhar is there, we will remove him. There is no problem. Okay. You can continue with class.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Takale
Thank you.
login. Now you kick them out. Why you are coming? You can come with Takale at dental care. Okay.
Yeah. I think
That will
I'll
give you.
try doing that next time instead of
Okay.
so I can
Sure.
take
Please
the
continue.
action myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Bye.
yeah, bye. So I can try explaining it again. So, sir, please show the one style. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this out, and then we're gonna go style equals color red, color red. So do you understand this, Anushka? How this works? Okay, so you understand that every tag has a set of preset styles. what you do with the style here is that you manually change an element of the style of just this specific tag. So if we were able to run it now you can see that only one of these is red because it's the opening and closing one that we have here. But what you do with a style tag in the header is that you change that style element, the color, to red for every single paragraph tag you have in your HTML. It doesn't matter if I had 100 paragraph tags or 2. Every single one would be red, as you can see here. The only way to change it then would be to go back and then put the color black manually. So now you can see that it changed to black because we put it within this tag. Otherwise, because of the style element here, all the paragraph tags have been changed to the color red. So do you understand that now? Okay. So then we can move on to the Scratch concepts. So today I was going to do a manual search algorithm using for loops and if statements and all that. And then a play along game making. I don't know how far we'll get with that. So last week we said like letter one, or wait, apple contains a, true or false, right? We went over that Boolean. So today what I want to do is I want to manually code a program that that does this same thing. So repeat until, so what we're gonna do now is we're going to start up our start event. We're gonna do repeat until my variable equals 1. Okay, so before we have to set our my variable equal to 0. We're gonna do repeat until my variable equals 1. So what we're gonna do here is that we're going to check, we're going to have a word, say it's apple, and we're going to go through and check if apple has the letter E. And whenever we see that the letter that we have selected is equal to E, we're going to increase my variable by 1, which will then set it equal to 1. So then it'll stop and we'll make it say true or whatever. Okay? Does everybody understand what we want to do in this search program? And feel free to like code along if you want to. Okay, look. So last week we went over search functions, right? Or we went over like a very basic version of them. We just checked if apple contains a. So what it does is that it goes through every letter of the word, and then it checks, is it equal to a? Is it equal to a? Like, is a equal to a? Well, okay, let's set, does apple contain b? So what it does is that it goes through letter 1. Is this equal to b? No. So then it goes to the next letter. Is this equal to b? No. So it goes so on and so forth till it would reach the letter b. Obviously, in this case, it doesn't reach the letter b. So it just, what is it? It's the word. It just stops. So that's kind of it. So do you understand that? Anushka, you can use online or offline editor. Yeah. You can use the offline editor. So what we're trying to do today is we're trying to code it ourselves. So repeat until my variable equals 1. So we're going to do we're going to need one of these. Okay, so repeat until my variable equals 1. So what we're going to do is we need to have a second variable. So we're going to set up test. So now we have test. So we have to do set test equal to 1. What we're going to do is that we're letter 1, so letter test instead. So letter 1 of Apple. So what we're going to do now is that we've set up two variables. One variable that'll stop the program once we get to the letter we want. And then another variable that we're going to do to check for letters of that word. So now we need to go to our if, but we need an if else. So if letter this of Apple equals E. So I may not have talked about this, but you can set letters equal to each other. So as I said before, in number systems that have more than 10 numbers, like a hexadecimal system, which is 16. So instead of going to like 10 or whatever, what they do is they go 0 to 9, and then after 9, it's A, B, C, D, E, F. So you're able to set letters equal to each other because in a computer, they have numerical values by themselves. So one letter by itself is technically a number. So if letter test of Apple equals E, then change my variable by 1. Otherwise, what we want to do first, if it's not E, is check what letter, like, what is it? What letter are we on? Are we at the end of it already? Have we checked the last letter? So we're going to put in another if statement, if else. So then if, what is it? If test is equal to length of Apple. And obviously Apple can be changed into, like, say another word variable. You can ask your user for a word and then it'll check if it has a random letter or something. So if test equals the length of Apple, then stop all. We want it to we want it to say false and then stop all. Otherwise, actually, I don't think we need then we want to change test by 1 if it's not at the end yet. So think this should be it. Let's say okay. Okay, so this won't work. So we'll do change test by 1. Anyways, otherwise, yeah, so if we do get to the end of this while loop, wait, okay, so say we're at the end, so then we get to the end of this while loop, but we still haven't found the letter that we want. Say it's B. So we're at E, but obviously it's not equal to B. So then it doesn't change my variable by 1, and it goes down here. So what we're going to make it do is we're going to make it test larger than 1, larger than the length of the word. So so then we're going to change test by 1 to make it larger than the length of the word, and then make the program end. And then what we're going to do after the while loop is we're going to have another if statement. If test is greater than length of apple, then we're going to make it say false. And if you're getting confused, I'll go over it again, but just remember then that this is what your check if apple contains E does. This is all that it does. So say false, otherwise say true. I think that should work. All right, so that wasn't supposed to happen. So what it does is that it changes it by 1. Does not have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5. Checks the letter 5. It's not B. So when it goes here, it should be 6 over here. Okay, so sir, where's test option? So what you do is that you would make a variable. There's a button here, make a variable, and then you create that variable. And I have it for all sprites. What that means is that it's like a static variable. It doesn't change its value across different sprites. So what you would want to do if you want to make it for just your sprite is that you would do for this sprite only. Sir, I did not understand it. Yeah, I'm currently having problems with this program, so we'll try to get through it together, I guess. Hmm. Okay, wait, let me just try equals then. Oh, it's because we didn't do tests. That's why. All right. So that's the problem. So very simple thing. I put to set my set variable to 0 or set variable to 1. and I forgot to set test to, I forgot to change this to test, and instead it was at my variable. So it checked this state, it checked this condition, my variable equals 1 at the start, saw that it was equal to 1, and then immediately went to this if statement. So that was the problem there. So yeah, now we're checking for B and it says false. Now if we change it to checking for E, it says that it's true. So what we'll do now is we'll trace this program. Okay. So when the green flag is clicked, we're going to set two variables. Okay. My variable. Okay. So let me just change the names of these at this point. Rename variable A. Okay. And then rename this variable B. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to set variable A to 0 and then set B to 1. And we're going to repeat a while loop. We're going to repeat a loop till A is equal to 1. What we're doing is we're checking. So in that loop, what we're doing first is we're checking, does letter B of apple equal E? So when we go through it the first time, it's 1. So we're checking if the first letter of apple equals E. If it is, then we change A by 1. And since our program stops when A equals 1, that'll be the end of the program. Whenever letter or whenever the B letter of apple equals E, that'll be the end of it. So since the first letter isn't E, then we go to our else. And then we see if B equals the length of apple. So what this means is we've reached the end of the word. So if B is equal to the length of the word apple, what that means is that we've reached the end of the word. We're at the last letter, and the last letter still hasn't equaled whatever letter we put here. So then what we're going to do is we're going to increase B by 1 and then change A by 1 to end the program. And then what we'll do here, okay, we'll go over to that next. But then otherwise, we don't do anything to A, and we just change B by 1 since we still need to check the rest of the letters in that word. Then what we do here, after the while loop, since at some point it's going to end. So what we'll do is that if B equals the length of apple, if B is greater than the length of apple, as we can see here, if it reached the end letter and the end letter was not equal to whatever letter we had here, then we're going to increase it by 1. So it's going to be larger than the length of the apple. So then if B is greater than the length of apple, then we say false. Otherwise, we say true, since it'll be less than, or it'll be equal to the length of apple at the very most, and A will be 1, which means that we found that letter in apple at some point. So does everybody understand that? Sir, I can't save the file in my device. I mean, I don't really know how to fix that, to be honest. No, okay, well, I get that it is a complicated program. What I wanted mostly for you guys to see is that something as simple as checking. Okay, so what we can do is that we can move this, all of this down, and we can say if apple contains E, then say true. Otherwise, say false. Something as simple as this if statement with an apple contains E. Did anybody leave or join? Okay, somebody probably left. So something as simple as this. If apple contains E, then say true, otherwise say false. And we can see it's true. Something as simple as this is really, in fact, all of this. This was just like a demo. I just wanted to show you guys how complicated these things can get. That's all, really. But I can trace the program again in like Paint, I guess. Okay. So let me just go change the screen that I'm presenting. And then we can start. So we start our program with two variables, A and B. So at the start, we set B equal to 0. I mean, A equal to 0 and B equal to 1. So we have a while loop that will repeat till this equals 1. So what you should understand is that means that what we have to do is that we're either going to change A to 1 when we find the letter. So A equals 1 when letter B, do not see B as a letter, like a letter in this standing. What B represents by itself now is a number. So when letter B, so like imagine it's something like algebra, where you have your variables X and Y. So when letter B of a word, okay, we'll just have like a line here to represent that word, equals A. Okay. No, wait, that's a bad letter. But so when it equals E, or when there's no more letters left for it to check. So how exactly do we know that there will be no more letters for it left to check? We know that that'll happen when B is greater than the length of the word. Since when you go past the length of the word, there no letters exist for that word. So then when B is greater than length of word. So now we have our two conditions, right? Our two stop conditions. And you can see, if you remember within that loop, actually, I think I'm just going to present like my screen, like my entire screen. So, all right. So you can see we have our two stop conditions here, right? So we either, if B is equal to the length of the apple and it's already checked that last letter, then we make B greater than the length of apple, and then we stop the program. So technically we could have put another if statement, but I didn't feel like it. So yeah. And then we have our other stop condition if we do find that letter within apple at B. So does everybody understand that? Sir, I'm fully confused. Yeah, it's a difficult concept, to be honest. I didn't learn it till like last year. So you know what? I think we'll move on. Yeah. I think that's probably the best option for now. So okay. Sir, please show how to create an HTML notepad and open in the notepad. All right. Okay. So what we're going to open File Explorer. Then we're going to go to this PC, go to C drive, users, new documents. So yeah, so here I have my HTML class. So what you do is that you go to new, you do text document, and you would name it whatever you want right now. Okay. So it's going to be a test document. So then you're going to open it, open with Notepad. And then what you're going to do is that you're going to go to File, you're going to do Save As, and then over here, once you get to this screen, you're going to select this drop-down box, Save As Type, All Files, and then you're going to keep that same name. You're not going to delete it. You're just going to add .html to the end. Then you're going to save it. So obviously I'm using a pre-made test.html file to show you the example of this, but the same concept still stands. So I'm just going to replace it. Okay. And now you have an HTML page. So when you close it, what it'll show is that it'll show you that it's a, for most of you, I think your default browser should be Google Chrome or Internet Explorer. So it'll say that it's a Google Chrome document or a Internet Explorer web document. So then if you want to see how it looks, then if you want to see how it looks like on Internet Explorer or on Google Chrome, just do open with Google Chrome. And we can see here that it does in fact show a red paragraph tag. Oh, whoops. So if we go and see open with Notepad instead, you can see that the only thing I have here is a red paragraph tag. So do you understand that? All right, so, sir, can I present the screen? No, I'm sorry. That usually causes a bit of disruption. So if you have a problem, just type it out in chat and I'll try to solve it as best I can. Wait, Anushka, are you trying to copy the one that I didn't scratch just now? The search program? Yeah, I would say don't try. You saw how even I was getting a bit confused. I guess I thought okay, so what I wanted to show you with that program is that there's a lot of pre-made things that Scratch gives you. And you need to understand that it's very complicated. Something that we can do automatically. We can check if Apple contains E just with one glance, just by looking at the word. But what a computer has to do is it has to do all of this. It has to set up not one, but two different variables. Use a while loop. Use not one, but three if else statements. So it's very confusing. It's meant to be confusing. But hopefully I can give you guys some like logic exercises in the future. So you guys can understand this better. Because it's not showing Notepad when I go to open with. Uh so open with, does it show like at least like a text? Uh if it's not showing it at all, I think you understand how to make it. At this point, it's just it's like your machine's not able to do it. So I think it would be better just to use this online editor. And again, I'll put it in the chat. And if you're having trouble setting up the file itself and and it's like Aryan's problem where it's not showing Notepad when you want to open with. So at that point, you would just use this editor. Because for this class, there's nothing that you'll need an actual document for, I think, and I'll let you know. Sir, can I send a screenshot of that? I don't know what you mean, but if you can send it in the chat, that would be great. If not, then no, it's fine. Sir, what is hexadecimal value? Okay, so let's just select wait. Uh, all right. You just erase everything. Let's go to eraser. Dang. Okay, so do you remember what decimal and binary are? Oh, as hashtag FFFFF equals white. So that's not hexadecimal. That's just the color code. So in HTML, there's a standardized color code system where hashtag FFF, or you can put in numerical values and it'll give you a specific color. So I know you type in W3 HTML color finder. So it'll give you a color picker and you can select any of these colors. So say I want this color. So selected color shows how it looks. Then it says hashtag 006666. Or it gives me the RGB values, or it gives me the HSL values, or it gives me like whatever this is, okay? Like, and you can see at the start of it, it says FFF because FFF is white. So it's a bunch of different standardized colors. Because like this color, I don't think it has like a name for HTML. So you have to put in this number value to get this specific color. It was given in our textbook last year. Yeah, so that's probably like what it is. Okay, what exactly is the screenshot of, if you could tell me? Because I don't really use WhatsApp much. To open with. No, I understand that there's nothing for you to open the file with to edit it. At that point, I would just say like it's fine if you just use this online editor. Use it. You don't, because at this point you're not limited by your understanding of how to open it. You're limited by the tools at your disposal. You don't have anything that you can open it with. That's not something that you're doing wrong. If anything, it's something that your computer is doing wrong. And I don't really care about your computer doing something wrong since that's a limitation of your technology. But if you still want to work along with us in the class and stuff, you can use this online editor. So does anybody have any questions about what we went over in class? Obviously, not the search function. I get that that was a bit complicated. But other than that, Sarah, can you please send the color picker link? Yeah. And as always, you can just type in on your search bar W3 HTML color picker if you ever lose the link, and that should give you it. So does anybody have any questions, or are we free to end the class? Sir, it is showing two folder, like name of browser and a notepad. Okay, so the notepad one you can delete. So, sir, why wasn't it working? Why wasn't what working? The Scratch program? Okay, so the Scratch program, I actually managed to make it work. So the reason that it wasn't working at the start is because I had put to set my variable to blank statements in, but I had actually kept this set to A. So when it went to go and then check this condition is A equal to 1, it saw that it is, and then it went directly to this B, to this last if statement. So it would always give it as true. So I needed to change it to B so that it would actually go through this. So now if we do, and does the letter apple contain B? And we can say that it's false. Does it contain P? True. So it works now. It worked because I forgot to set a specific variable to 1 or 0. I was setting a variable to 1, but it was not the right one. As I said before, it's not necessary for you to copy what I did in class. This is obviously a more complicated program. I can leave it up on the screen for a bit if you want to take a better look at it. But it's not necessary. This is way over what I will be teaching you guys, to be honest. So does everybody understand that? All right, so if there are any more questions, please feel free to ask them. Otherwise, we will be ending the class. And I believe that in the group, now you are required to send your introduction to Santosh sir to be removed from the class, to be allowed into the next class due to the event that happened today. So I'm going to assume that as nobody else has any questions, so you guys are free to leave the meeting. And I will see you guys next week. Yeah.